Okay, well, I wanted to check back in with you after your lesson. I thought that went really good. I could see all the different things that you implemented. You've done a lot of work.
Well, I took in, you had really great suggestions, and I'm like, and being in SH, it's up and down all the time, so I'm always open to suggestions. And the one thing that stuck out at me was definitely the sorting between healthy and non-healthy foods. I thought that was nice, getting them a chance to get up out of their seats and partake in the lesson like that, and they each got a chance at answering a question quickly, which was nice. Also, you had suggested having like flashcards or visuals at their desk ready. So it's like I'm trying to have the kids answer and have their card up, so all of them are answering instead of me just asking one individual student at a time. So it was more students answering more questions. I could see that. I realized we just started because it's so much prep work with the flashcards and having all these materials ready with, you know, I only have 4 or 5 staff with my 13 kids, and each of them are so individualized that it's a lot of materials to get together. So it takes a little bit of time. So I think they'll pick up on it sooner in regards to the flashcards and having the materials and knowing which words are what when they're answering. But
Well, today was the first day that
Yeah.
you would use that big
Yes.
big page with all of those words, and I thought for the first day it went pretty good.
them recognizing those words,
They
just
were
words without the
recognizing
picture word
them.
symbol is awesome. That's why I love teaching, is the fact that they don't always need the visual and they're learning and they can read these words and understand the words and answer. That's engagement. That's what I was looking for. I want as much engagement from as many students as possible. So that was huge.
That was great. How do you think it went with all those cards?
I think it was a little busy, but I think with some time and care, depending on the student, I think, believe it or not, with the students that have like the one-on-one and more individual attention, it's going to work out great. It's my higher kids that are more independent that have all these flashcards that I think once they learn the system and they just get used to it, they're going to know, like, bam, out of a field of 15 flashcards here, they're going to know how to answer and put the answer up right away. It'll eventually get better. It just seemed a little busy at first. So that was my only like criticism, but in this field, it's
Yeah.
trial and error. It just
Well,
needs
and
time.
I think too, because they were new, like I saw the one student, he had kind of pulled them all off, and then he couldn't find the one that he was looking for.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just going to be a process of learning. Like, first of all, you don't pull them all off, and there are certain times when you use this or that. And I think with a little more training, that would be good. What did you think about, there was one part that I saw that, what was it? They were, was it when they were doing the days of the week, where they were kind of like looking, like how do you think they did with that, finding the days of the week, and like yesterday was Sunday and all of that? How do you think that went?
Looking for the actual word, the correct answer. I think it was too much at first since I just started implementing and had so many materials. I think overall they did well because I would say 60% of my students got the answer right and had it up. But that other 40% are still learning and it's too much. So maybe if I limit the amount of flashcards in each envelope, they might have more success. But overall, I think it went pretty well.
I thought they did really well. The only thing that I noticed was you have a great process, like you have a great system, but the way that you were using it today was still, you know, the idea was that, you know, they're all going to hold up their answer, but you were still having to go and check on each one individually, and so that was
still learning the
not
process.
exactly, but I was thinking, you know, instead of just jumping in and just saying, you know, everyone, you know, find this or do this, and like your aides I noticed were, they were prompting the kids, but they were all prompting at like a different pace.
Yeah.
And so some of the kids found it right away. Some of them, like you were having to check in with each one, and that's great because you want to make sure that each kid gets it.
Yeah.
But you know, it was still, instead of having that instantaneous, you know, here's my answer so you can just check it and go,
Yep.
you were still having to do the one-on-one.
I eventually want to get to that point. I do. And
Well,
I could see it working, but do you have a suggestion?
have you ever thought about just doing like setting up a simple routine with the kids, where
Mm-hmm.
like it can be as simple as like a, you know, like a beat count or something, like, well, okay, when you guys are gonna give me your answer on the count of 3, and so it kind of
Ooh,
focuses
yes.
everybody in, and it also gives your aides a clue that we want the answer and we want it right now, and then you can just do a spot check around the room, you know, and say, okay, everyone, I'm gonna give you a few minutes, or, you know, a second or so to think about it. And then count. Okay, I'm going to count
That's a
to
good
3.
idea.
On the count of 3, you guys hold up your answers, and that's going to prompt your aides too, because
So I don't have to look all
it's
the
still
way
a
around
little
too.
busy.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
I think it's a
completely
little
agree.
busy, and I think that's the one thing you need to have, like that routine where they're all stopping and focusing on you, and that kind of thing might help. You know, just as sort of a practice thing, and they'll get used to it, and then you can use that with every response. You know, it might not work as well for the ones where they get up and go answer, but when you're having them sit there at their seats and do like the receptive answers, do you know what I mean?
I completely agree. Because I use that a lot with even just my behaviors, and I know we were looking at behaviors at the very beginning of our interviews and stuff, and that all ties together with the student engagement. But I lost my train of thought. But basically, what I want them to get from this is kind of like how you set boundaries. Like, I have my kids use timers, I have them use visuals and everything, and they have all these boundaries. It's kind of like its own little mini boundary when you're setting that. All right, in 3 seconds, everyone put up your response. 1, 2, 3. I think that we'll see a complete difference.
And it really is
You're
giving
right.
a group command, because I know that you really like to have your kids in a large group setting.
Yes.
But you're not giving them the group command. It's like they're in the large group setting, but you're still dealing with them as one-on-one.
Yes.
Whereas this is going to give them that large group setting experience of we're all attending to the same direction at the same time.
Following a one-step direction,
And
too.
following a one-step direction. Exactly.
That's huge. That's another standard.
Right.
Yeah, so it'd be touch and base.
Yeah,
Good.
so just little things like that. Is there anything that, if we were to continue the coaching project, is there anything that you'd like to focus on next time?
I think I'm so big on communicating and socializing in my room as part of the lesson. Like, I don't want, yes, there's compliance where the kids have to be quiet and they're on task and they're listening, which was the big thing with this project. I think next, being able to communicate more so their wants and their needs, or anything that's on their mind in regards to the lesson, I think is huge. I think that would be my next angle if I were to pick something.
All right, great. Well, we can always do that. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.